Hello, everyone. You're listening to WGSN-DB Going Solo Network, and I am Cece Schatz. I'm the doyen of relationship building, and this is the Business Showcase, and I'm so pleased to have you on the station here with us. Those of you who don't know about the station, we are a singles internet talk station. We are the #1 talk station out there, and we're very proud of that. You know, what we do is really bring individuals together so that we can kind of unite them in a mindset, changing their mindset, uplifting, inspiring. And that's what we're going to do here today in the Business Showcase. So we bring awesome business leaders that really help us move forward and inspire us to really be the best that we can be. Of course, creating the best businesses that we can possibly have. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to bring with us a wonderful gentleman. Let's bring him right up. Let's see if we got technology is going to help us here with this. Yes, hello there. We have Phinehas with us. Phinehas Kinuthia, and welcome to the show. Now, Phinehas is the author of Dreaming to Become You, and he also has another book out there, and we're going to twist his arm and make him come back and talk about that one. But he is a motivational speaker. He's a transformational coach, and it is just a joy to have you on the show. So welcome.
Thank you so much. The pleasure is all mine. I appreciate doing this with you. It was a great meeting and knowing you.
Well, I think we are very, very lucky. I tell you what, we need to have you, let me bring this in here. There we go. Then we can see you a little bit better. We're lucky to have you because you know what? You are very inspirational. And tell us a little bit about your journey, because I know that you've had some struggles in your lifetime.
Yes.
And so share with us a little bit about how you are really, at this point in your life, really helping people, motivating them. So share with us a little bit about your journey.
Well, thank you, Sissy. And again, I appreciate it. It's definitely a privilege to be with you. Well, just a little bit about myself. So I was born and raised in Africa, in Kenya, in a remote village called Nakuru. And I was born 2.86 pounds premature. I grew up with chronic bronchitis and asthma throughout my childhood as a little child. And at the age of 14, I actually got diagnosed with 3 major illnesses that left me paralyzed on my left side, unable to walk. And I wasn't really sure whether I was going to be able to walk again. And as a teenager, that put me in a place of fear. And it was really such a trauma. During that time, somebody gave me a message. It was called Purpose by Design. And that no matter where we start, no matter the circumstances surrounding our life, we all have a purpose. We all have an assignment. And so that really birthed in me something, a desire to want to pursue my purpose and to discover what it is I was born to do. Well, being born in poverty, we lived off of less than $2 a day. So just being born in poverty really made me reevaluate and ask myself, what hope is there for me? What hope can there be for someone like me? And one thing led to another, and I started pursuing my assignment, started pursuing my purpose, and found myself coming to America 10 days before 9/11. And I came to America with $200 and a one-way ticket. Didn't know anybody. First time out of the village. First time on a plane. First time out of my country. I came in search of a better life. And, at that particular time, it was really hard. I've been homeless for 2 or 3 months and really trying to find my way. And it's at that point that really I told myself, there are a lot of people who have dreams and don't know how to materialize their dreams. And I wish that I had a rich uncle or somebody, or a rich friend, or somebody that would help me know how to connect the dot. Then I realized I'm the help that I was waiting for. And so it is at that time that actually my book was birthed, because I wanted to help people who are going through what I was going through, to help them move from just dreaming to becoming. So that's a little bit about myself. And since then, I've helped people in over 25 countries. Thousands of people discover their purpose. And really, I do 3 things: help them discover their purpose, maximize their potential, and realize their dreams. And so in essence, I didn't have an advantage start, but I've had to make the best of what I have, because I believe in the power of pursuit of dreams.
Oh, that's wonderful. I
Yeah.
tell you what, it's a challenge. And, here today, we always think we have such challenges, but you've totally experienced those challenges firsthand. And to think that, here in our country, that there's such opportunity awaits. It truly is a blessing, and so it's an honor to see you become successful. And anything we can do to help you, that's certainly what we want to do. But along the
Likewise.
road, you have inspired those,
Yes.
to be able to really develop their own dream. And so
Right.
I thought today it would be very kind of fitting to talk about dreaming to become you. And so, if we were going to start out, dreaming to become who we truly are, what would you suggest for our listeners to how can they take action? Like, what step could they begin with?
Perfect. And one of the things is that, first of all, we all have, my philosophy in life is that we all have great treasure. We are born with treasure inside of us. The Newton's third law of motion says that an object at rest continues at rest until an external pressure is applied to it. So meaning your potential continues to stay inside of you until there's either an inspiration, there's a motivation to move beyond where you are to where you ought to be. And when I wrote From Dreaming to Becoming, the whole concept, it's not about a destination, it's about a process. And so a lot of people are trying to get to a place, but I tell people it's not about doing, it's about being, it's about becoming. So I want to help you get to become. So the first thing that we have to be truly aware of, if we're going to become our best selves, if we're going to move from just merely dreaming to becoming, is that we have to understand what our purpose in life is. Everything you were meant to be revolves around the purpose, the core of who you were created to be. I tell people that your purpose, your design is not independent of your purpose. There are tools in you, there are clues in you, there are gifts in you, there's your personality. You're too complex to be defined by a single moment of failure. And so we cannot define ourselves by what we cannot do, but by who we are. And who we are comes from the total essence of who we were created to be, not what we do. A lot of people say, like it's a new year, so they write new resolutions. They say, I'm going to be more, I'm going to do more. These are my 10 resolutions, I'll do more. And I tell people, instead of doing, become. Instead of trying to want to do things I need to do, become more. If you become more, ultimately, you'll be able to accomplish more. Our value doesn't come from what we do, but in who we are, in our total identity, finding ourselves. So decisions are easy to make when purpose is known. Part of the reasons is that we can become ourselves is that we are trying to be what we were never meant to be. There are a lot of people who are looking in the philosophy, this American idealism of you can be anything you want to be if you put your heart to. I tell people that's not entirely true because it's a partial truth. I would want to be able to be, let's say, a NASCAR driver. I would want to be able to be, let's say, maybe a basketball player or an astronaut. But in me is every assignment, every product that leaves a manufacturer doesn't discover its purpose after it's left the production. It's the production, before production is done, then the purpose is established. And what I tell people is your purpose was established before you were created, before you came into existence. So your purpose is not your decision. I don't decide what I need to do. I discover what I was born to be. And if I discover what I was born to be and I throw myself at it fully at 100% and not hold back anything, then I can be everything I was born to be. Now, we just recently lost Kobe Bryant. I mean, a successful, he left behind a 2 billion empire, and a successful young man. We saw how his work ethic, we saw how much he's accomplished within a short time. But in 20 years, we can say, if I was to look back at his life, I would say that he has fully lived his life. Yes, we didn't get to see the second chapter of his life, but in his in this moment, he fulfilled. A lot of people from all over the world were impacted by this loss because of who he was. And when we give ourselves to something and we pour ourselves fully to something, then people's lives will be transformed, people's lives will be changed, and we will find significance. So instead of finding value in what we do or what we amass, the wealth we amass, the things, we have to discover ourselves. So the first thing I'll tell the people is that they need to discover the core of who they were intended to be. They need to discover their purpose, because nothing starts until purpose is known. And just because your purpose is not known does not mean it doesn't exist. It's in you. We just need to help you discover it.
Yeah, I totally get that. I totally get. And I remember too, being brought up with mainly by my grandparents, and my grandmother used to always say to me, "You are destined for greatness." And I used to think, "What the heck is she talking about?" But she used to always tell me that you are destined for greatness. And so whatever anyone tells you, just remember that you are destined for greatness. And so I think she had the same kind of philosophy, is that you step into what you really are destined to do. And sometimes I wonder, though, Phinehas, if that sometimes develops when we have challenges in our lives, for us to be able to move forward, to really discover the essence of ourselves. Sometimes our boat has to be rocked, doesn't it? Sometimes we have to step out of the box a little bit. And so what would you say about that?
Well, because and that's a good observation, actually, Sissy. We are creatures of habit. And what happens, think about it, everything you do is mostly, when you're born, is that you're taught what to do from the start. You're always being told what to do. I remember when I was working, and one of the concepts I talk about is this concept of when I was working, they gave me a script, and they say, when I first started my first job, it was at a call center. They gave me a script and they told me, this is what you need to say. This is how you need to approach this situation. And we come into life and we are brought into these moments where you have to go to work. You have to start at 8 and come back at 5. That people go to work to pay bills. And so you grow up with this mentality. This is what we do. This is what everybody does. And so what happens is we get into these pockets where we are comfortable because we're like, everybody's just going to do the same thing. Everybody's going to go to work and come back home. And so we're all about that. But what I've realized is that sometimes life has a way to offer crisis as a motivation. So we're motivated by pleasure or by pain. And either way, your dreams will not come to pass unless your desire of the future becomes greater than your present reality. So I always tell people that until your future becomes bigger than the comfort of your present matrix, you will not be compelled to move. And so sometimes pain is introduced in our lives and comes into our lives and causes us to move. Let me share a story with you, Sissy. There's the eagle. I've learned a lot from the eagles. And the eagle, what the eagle does, it builds its nest up in the very high in the cliff or very high somewhere in the mountain. And what it does is that it will put the male eagle will get twigs and everything, and they would weave it together and then put the feathers as the last thing. And then the eaglet, the female eagle will lay the egg, and then now the male will sit on it, and over time, then they'll hatch. Now, what happens is after a while, these little eaglets, they just keep opening their mouth and they just get fed all the time. Then what's unique about the eagle is that after a while, it begins to remove the feathers, and the little eaglets starts getting pricked by the thorns, because the nest has thorns and pricks and twigs. And so it gets pricked. And then it jumps out of the nest and jumps right back into the nest. But every time it jumps back, it becomes more unbearing. And then over time, it can't stay in the nest. What the male eagle does, it creates a discomfort that pushes the eaglet out of the nest. And then finally what happens is that the female eagle throws the little eaglet out, and it flies, and it tries to fly and comes and sweeps it and put it right back. Several times it does that, and then over time, the eaglet starts flying. What am I saying with this story is that sometimes we get into these pockets where we are comfortable. and life becomes comfortable and we're getting a paycheck and things are happening and we have dreams, but those dreams are just thoughts. We've never taken action to materialize. And then something happens, a crisis happens in our lives. We lose a job or something happens, and loss of a loved one, or not being able to pay medical bills, and it begins to push you. And so it's not that we have to go through pain to experience our purpose, but sometimes pain is the only way we can be motivated out of our nest of comfort to realize that we can fly. Because until the eaglet gets out of the nest, then it realizes it has capacity to fly. And that's what life does. It's correction. It brings correction. It helps us jump out of this situation.
Wow, that is so true. And let me ask you too, as we're moving forward in life, sometimes we, things come to us. And we think, okay, now I'm not going to do that because I'm in that comfort zone, right? I got the job, I got the paycheck coming, 9 to 5. I don't have to worry about it. I just go home and not worry about it. But then all these other opportunities just keep arising to us.
Yeah.
And so isn't that something that when we are really stepping towards our purpose in life, it's those kind of things that keep, like the doors keep opening for us, and we just kind of need to walk through them, don't we?
Right. And we have to be intentional about it. A lot of people have good intentions, but intention alone is not enough for success. There has to be a motivation to move, to advance towards what we desire. A lot of times we have these ambitious goals and dreams, and we write them down sometimes at the beginning of the year, and we say, hey, one day I'm going to be, this becomes the someday list, but we never intentionally begin to move progressively towards it. You see, the distance between where you are and where you ought to be is going to be influenced by what you're willing to do, because what I do today determines the future I create tomorrow. And so instead of waiting for tomorrow to happen, destiny is best predicted by creating it. So meaning I'm going to do things today that positions me for tomorrow. And one of the things that we have to understand is that the worst thing that can happen is for opportunity to happen to you when you are not prepared. So in these down moments, in these times when we are trying to learn and we are trying to understand who we are and what our full purpose is and what our potential is, that's preparation time. And so we need to do a lot to prepare. So one of the things I talk about, one of the principles I talk about in moving from just dreaming to becoming a better you, is that you have to prepare. You have to invest in yourself. You cannot demand of yourself more than you're willing to put in. And a lot of people are trying to demand out of life what they've not put in. And it's the law of reciprocity, is that you got to put in. I can't go to, yes, I have a bank account, but I can't go to the bank account and demand more than I've invested in the bank account myself, or I've saved, or I've even deposited. And so that's the thing. Somebody said, I bargained with life for a penny, and life offered me a penny. And that's the thing, is that what we demand of life, the expectations we have of life, is what it delivers to us. And so we have to be intentional, Sissy. We have to go after our dreams, and we have to take actions. We have to move beyond intent. Wishing and hoping alone is not enough. There has to be massive action. And if we're going to get unstuck, if we're going to move forward, there's got to be a speed of execution. We have to say, hey, this is what I want to do. This is what I intend to do. And I'm going to do whatever it takes to get where I need to go. And so there has to be some level of intentionality, but also there has to be some level of action. There has to be some action on that.
So let me ask you, for those that are, really traveling through some of the deepest and darkest times of their lives,
right,
and they don't really think that they have a dream in front of them, because they're just struggling trying to get through life.
Yeah.
What would you say to that person, that to try to inspire them to reach beyond where they're at the moment?
That's very good, Sissy. The reality is we will go through dark moments. In fact, I'll just share something personal. I'll just go ahead and be more vulnerable and say that when I was writing the book From Dreaming to Becoming, I went through some of the toughest moments in life, meaning I was going through, my mother-in-law was going through crisis. She was sick and going through some, so we had some medical expenses, and she was going through stage 4 of cancer. At the same time, we were expecting, my wife and I were expecting our daughter. And so she was born around the same time. So we have a young family. We got all these things going on. We got the medical situation. And in the process of that, one thing led to another. I lost my job that I had for 7 years. And I'm so glad that I did, because it would not have pushed me. And like I said, the whole crisis happening, I woke up one day, would go to work, and they say, well, we're going to have to let you go. And because we have to cut, we've lost our 80%. One of the client was 80% of their income. And so they had to let us go. But at that moment, my dreams were being shattered, and I felt like I didn't have any dreams, and I felt like I'm not going to make it through. I went through a moment there of fighting depression and going through feeling like I'm not going to make it. And mind you, I had been through so much just to get where I was. But even at this point, life was happening, and I was going through. And even with that, my house was being threatened. I was being threatened to be kicked out of my house that had paid for 7 years. And so and life happens. And the truth is, things happen to us. Life will happen, but we are not defined by what we go through. And so one of the things that I've done is that I've try to create a mental image of the picture of what I want to see. You see, you cannot be motivated by pain. You have to be motivated by a dream. You have to put inside of you, in front of you, what you put in front of you determines what you pursue, and what you pursue determines what you're motivated by. And so if all I put before me is my trials, my challenges, my discouragement, my failures, then I will not have the strength to move forward. But your dream has to be big enough that it motivates you out of these pockets of pain. Now, I'm not saying you will not experience pain, but you cannot be defined by what you're going through. You are very complex to be defined by a single moment of failure, of loss. Maybe it's a loss of a loved one. Maybe it's a divorce. Maybe it's a job loss. Maybe it's whatever the issue is. Life is we are too complex not to be defined by a single moment. And so I would tell the person who's sitting feeling that they don't have a dream, I would tell you that your dream has always been in you. You see, a true dream is not a momentarily infatuation. It's not something that you're just excited about and it goes away. No, there's some things that are deep rooted in you that continue to stay in you, and that constantly beckons you and constantly pushes you to want to birth these things. That's a true dream, and it's always in you. And no matter how old, and somebody said you're never old until regret takes the part of your dreams. And so we cannot allow regret. We cannot allow. I think one of the most important thing is to live for the moment, to live every day as if it's your last day, and to take moments that you're down as birthing moments where you can create something. So while I was going through the things I was going through, I challenged myself. I said, no, I'm not going to allow what I'm going through to define me. So I will create something that will breathe life to other people. And this book has really transformed a lot of people. I'll tell you, Sissy, there's a lady in San Antonio that was going through MLS and could never walk and had to be confined to a wheelchair. And guess what? She read the book and she said, well, you know what? I'm going to make the best of where I am. One of the laws I talk about is a principle of trade-off, that you're going to have to trade off some things so you can create the life that you want to have. And so she said, you know what? I'm going to devote myself to studying something. And right now she has a podcast. She has a radio show that she does, overcoming obstacles. And she was motivated because she desired to paint a picture of a desirable future. And that's the thing. We have to put in front of us what we want to pursue, what we want to be, what we want to become. That's the power of envisioning. And so the power of vision is not a matter of sight, it's a matter of insight. And so it's ability to see into and say, I don't know how, but I'm committed to becoming this person. So I want to tell to the audience, I want to talk to everybody listening to us, that you are not old until regret takes the place of your dreams. And as long as you are living, it's proof that you still have an assignment that you need to complete here on earth. And the empowerment within you is proportionate to your assignment. A lot of us are looking for things outside of us to define us, to give us significance, to make us valuable. No, you are enough. enough. You are valuable just the way you are. You are built for something. Just because somebody doesn't know your purpose doesn't negate your purpose. Ignorance of purpose doesn't make purpose, doesn't remove the purpose. You still have a purpose. And so I want to encourage somebody who's feeling discouraged or feeling like they don't have anything. I want to tell you, there is always greatness inside of us waiting to be unleashed, waiting to be unlocked.
Wow, that's very true. And I know that in my darkest times, I just got pissed off.
Yeah.
And I just said, you know what? I am going to survive come hell or water. I mean, I'm just going to get through this. And I just managed to just say, you know, enough is enough, and try to figure it out. But I love the idea of the dreams, and let's talk a little bit more about that when we come back. We just have to take a very quiet break here for our sponsors. When we drop our shows into the audio format, we have sponsors that come on and do advertisements. So we're just going to have a silent moment for just a minute. Those of you who are listening, please stay with us, because it's just for a second or two, just so we can create a break. So I hope that you'll stay with us here. So you guys are listening to WGSN-DB Going Solo Network. This is the Business Showcase. I am CC Schatz. I'm the doyen of relationships. So hang on. We'll be right back in just a couple seconds. Okay, I want to thank you guys for holding on here with us. Again, you're listening to WGSN-DB Going Solo Network. This is the Business Showcase, and I am CC Schatz, a doyen of relationship building. We have had a fabulous first half of the show, and I am excited about the second half. We have Phinehas here, and he is, let's show his information. He is dreaming to becoming you is what our topic is about. He is our guest here today. He's a motivational speaker and a transformational coach. He's the author of a terrific book, which is called Dreaming to Becoming. He also has a business. He's the CEO of Dreaming to Becoming, LLC. And, you know, he's inspired people all around the world to really kind of kick it in, get it going, and really discover, your purpose from within, so that you can develop to becoming who you truly are supposed to be. And which I think is probably a wonderful person. So let's get back to the show. Now, Phinehas, I wanted to ask you, what I was so intrigued about your title about dreaming is that for me, and I'm wondering if we should talk a little bit about maybe meditation, or how can one tap in on trying to understand a little bit more about themselves and their purpose to be able to move forward. But for me, what I do is I really give it some thought of whatever the issue might be before I go to sleep at night. And when I wake up, I have the answer of what it is that I'm supposed to do. And sometimes I'll have dreams where I am kind of told to do certain things. And if I don't do them right away, the dreams keep coming to me. So what would you say about something like that?
Well, one of the things is I think we all have, I think from childhood, life conditions you. Like we're conditioned by, and I think that's why the people who are making a difference today are disrupting what life is about. Like when you think about Uber, you think about Netflix, they've taken a concept that's been existing and they're disruptive. And I think one of the things is that we have to ask ourselves is there's always been this, I don't care who you are, where you are. There's always been these dreams inside of somebody. Like let's say it's you. You've always had these dreams, and you're trying to find how do you go about it? How do you go seek solutions? So one of the things that I would say in regards to your question is, one, we need to create an association, meaning we need to have the right associations around us. Sometimes we don't know what to do, we don't know where to go, but the people we surround ourselves with influences the destiny or the direction of our life, the trajectory of our life. So one of the things is surrounding yourself with people who are either who are going where you're trying to go, or are already where you're trying to go, because success leaves clues. And a lot of times people have dreams, and all our dreams might not be idiosyncratic to just peculiar to you alone, but they could be similar but positioned in a different way. And so you find people, it's what the world called benchmarking, is you need to find people who are, one, thinking and acting like where you're trying to go. So we need first to create, one of the principles I teach is that principle of association, that you can grow your life geometrically through mistakes and experience, or exponentially through relationship. So one of the things in birthing dreams is surround yourself with dreamers. Surround yourself with people who are seeing a desirable future. Surround yourself with people who are talking more about their dreams than they're talking about other people. And I tell people, birds of a feather flock together. You know, chickens, they pack and they flock down here, but eagles fly in high altitude. And that's why if you are, let's say I'm a 5, right? I'm only going to attract a 5 or less. And if I'm fortunate, maybe a 6 around me, but I'm not going to attract the 10s, because the 10s want to hang with the 10s. So one of the things I inspire people about is find people that have dreams. And people have big, audacious dreams that will provoke you to want to dream, that will cause you to feel like you're dreaming too small, you know. And if your dream is just for you and it's just for your gratification, that's not a dream. That's an ambition. That's something you want to accomplish. Dreams are meant to inspire people. Dreams are meant to birth destinies. Dreams outlive us. So one of the things is surround yourself with people that are trying to go where you're trying to go, people that have a bigger vision. Now, the other thing you said is that sometimes you'll sleep and you'll get insight on what you need to do. Now, there's a power of the subconscious mind. You see, the subconscious mind doesn't discriminate between reality and what's not reality. So what I feed my mind with, if I'm thinking about negativity all day and I'm telling myself what I cannot do, it's like a software that I'm loading to my hardware, which is my body, telling myself what I cannot do. So if I constantly replay that, you know, what you continually hear, you eventually believe. If I continually hear you're good for nothing, you're incapable, you cannot do that, then that's what you'll manifest. That's the power of affirmation. One of the concepts I teach from dreaming to becoming is the power of affirmation, daily affirmation. Owning up to your dreams, saying to yourself, I can do this. I am capable. I am good enough. I have what it takes. I am built for this. I can. So speaking into yourself and beginning to manifest the desired future that you want to. You see, as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. So I gotta change what I'm thinking so I can manifest a different reality. So my self-concept is my performance comes from my self-concept, and my self-concept cannot change until I change what I'm speaking to myself and how I'm seeing myself, because perception matters. Your perception is your reality. So if you see yourself the wrong way, you will manifest the wrong stuff. But if you start saying, I am capable, I am beautiful, I have what it takes, I am built for this, I can do this, then you begin to manifest. So there's surrounding yourself with the right people, but there's also the envisioning, there's also the affirmation, there's also the speaking into by feeding your conscious mind with the right information.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. I think that there's an essence of knowing, and so you know, we definitely have that. And so we need to tap in on that. And I know even for myself, there's a lot of things that I want to accomplish in my lifetime. And so sometimes I put those things on the back burner, and that's when the dreams and the stuff that starts happening. It's like, no, we're not putting this on the back burner. You need to go forward with it. So yeah, I totally get that. So everyone, I want to make sure that you all understand that he does have this wonderful book out. It's called Dreaming to Becoming, the 10 Essential Steps for Living the Life of Your Dreams. Of course, you can reach that right here on his website. I'm going to put that up for you guys. His website is right here, and it's a PINEHASK.com. So make sure you guys write that down. PINIE, if I'm saying right, HASK.com. And so again, if you want to reach his Gmail, he's got his email here that you guys can send him a letter. I've put a P.O. box up there. So it's Dreaming to Becoming, LLC, P.O. Box 6529, Katy, Texas, 77491. And his email is PINEHASK PHAS.KINUTHIA@gmail.com. And that is his full name. So you guys can get his information. And he's got other programs and things like that on his website. So I would definitely urge you to look at his website and check it out. Of course, you can go on Amazon.com and get the book if you want. But again, his website is PHINEHASK.com. So you want to do that. But let's take a quick minute and talk about this new book that you have out. We're going to bring you back on the show. And I'd like to bring you back into maybe the author's corner or something so we could talk about it.
Yeah.
Becoming the Best You, 9 Secrets for Stepping into Greatness.
Yes.
So that's pretty cool. How about that?
Thank you. So, one of the things I believe in, I think life is a journey. Life is not a destination. And I think the reason people feel like a failure is that they make failure an event. And so they get stuck at that particular place and never move beyond that. One of the things that I've realized that where I am today is not a result of chance. It's a result of intention. You can have accidental growth or you can have purposeful growth. And so the life that you create by default, you can manage. But the life that you create by intention and being very particular about it, you can be able to grow. So the whole concept of becoming is something I'm about. That's why my company is called From Dreaming to Becoming, because there are a lot of people with dreams that will never materialize their dreams. There are a lot of people dying without fully realizing their ultimate potential. There are a lot of people who don't know their greatness, and greatness is not becoming a celebrity or becoming a big name, but greatness is honoring your true potential. Greatness is being everything you're intended to be. When you think about someone like Mother Teresa, she's great, but she didn't amass all these billions of dollars to say that she's extremely wealthy, but she's great in our eyes because of the impact that she made. So the book Becoming the Best You is actually a follow-up of the original book From Dreaming to Becoming. Why? Because I realized as you're moving just to becoming, it's a process and you become one thing, but you're like, okay, yes, I am good at this, but how do I become? Because I realized a lot of people are trying to be and they are trying to achieve or trying to do, but they've not become. And so they get frustrated because they're trying to pursue success. And when they get the success, they don't know what to do with it because they've not prepared for it. So becoming the best you has to do with an internal reflection. Is what do I need to do? How do I think if someone say that the only person you're in competition with is a better version of you. You shouldn't worry about what other people are doing. You should be better today than you are yesterday. And so that has been my passion with this next project, was how do I help people just become a better version of themselves? Because if we all can be a better version of ourselves, we can birth more, we can create more things, we can accomplish more, we can impact more people's lives, and the world will be a better place. So these 9 secrets are things that I've learned in the process of really moving myself to be a better version of myself, because I'm always challenging myself. I don't want to allow mediocrity to set in my life. I don't want to have complacency set in my life, because I understand that good is the enemy of great. And so I cannot be okay being good. I have to keep pushing to be a better version of myself. And I sure hope that even with your audience that we can motivate them. And when I come back, I would definitely love to be in the show with you, Cece. I would like to motivate the audience to just be a better version, to pursue and be a better version of themselves.
Well, I think you definitely did that today for sure. Mm-hmm. And it's very inspirational. And I do believe, like you do, I think, the people that you surround yourself, that lift you up and move you forward. And it's just pretty awesome. And, life is really about transition, isn't it? And yes. So wherever we were yesterday, we're not there today. And I cannot wait for tomorrow, right. Because right. Who knows what doors are going to open and where we're going to walk. And so that's the whole thing. I think if we can get people to understand that we're constantly moving and evolving, and right. What a wonderful, beautiful thing that is. So,
right. And Sister, we have to also allow people to be, because they can't be overnight. And so it's a process. So there's frustration, you fall down, you get back up. So you can't just stop. You have to continue to progressively be. And that's true.
Yeah, very, very much so. And also, when you're going through some of those difficulties in life,
Yes.
I also think that's a little bit of a learning period for us because we, sometimes we have to catch our breath and we have to look at our surroundings, look at who we're, doing business with, or who is in our life, who's inspiring us, what doors are open that we haven't walked through, do we need to make a door open, right? That kind of thing. So yeah.
And if you didn't go through the things you went through, I always tell people you would not have the wisdom you have today. Mm-hmm. And so sometimes life experiences bring us to a level of awareness and consciousness that allows us to move to a higher level of thinking. And so that's the thing. The beauty of this is that, and you and I are on a journey, and that's why I like what you're doing. You're helping people who've gone through challenges in life or in marriage, and they've gone through and they have to start over again. And we have to tell people that, look, this is not the end of it. There's life after this, and this is how you can reinvent yourself. And that's why I want people to know about your show too. I want people to hear about it because you're making a difference in people who thought that it was over, but they just didn't understand that they were getting a better start, another chance to start again intelligibly, And so that's the thing. And I want us to, even your audience, if there's a way I can add value to your audience, connect with me on social media. I'm on Instagram, I'm on Facebook. Let's connect. Let's build a community where we are helping each other. And again, Sissy, this has been amazing just to be able to do this with you. We talked about this, and I'm glad that it's a reality.
Well, it's great. Yeah, you are one of our elite guests. And so those out there that don't know what an elite guest is, it's special individuals that give back time and time again to our station, and they support us. They support our whole Going Solo network. And so those individuals will be coming back on our show repeatedly when there's, topics of really truly interest that we want to motivate our listeners and help them move through. So his information, Phinehas' information is right there. All you have to do is go to goingsolomedia.com, click on his elite page, and all of his information is right there. And also a little bit about his journey too. So I think it's important that in order for us to connect with the individuals, we want to make sure that that's all there for you. So that is there on the site, and he is more than happy to help you make that transition into, walking into your purpose. And so
yes. Yes.
I think it's amazing what you do. Again, let's put your information up so everyone has it. It's Dreaming to Becoming, LLC. The P.O. Box is 6529 Katy, Texas, 77491. His email is PHINEHAS.KINUTHIA@gmail.com. And his website is, of course, www.PHINEHASK.com. So we want to make sure you guys get that information. Go in and get his books. Here's his books right here. It's from Dreaming to Becoming, the 10 Essential Steps for Living the Life of Your Dreams. And he's got a brand new book out, guys, and we're going to have him come back and talk about it more. Becoming the Best You, 9 Secrets to Stepping into Greatness. So you guys can get that on his website, or you can go to Amazon.com. So I think they're awesome. And thank you so much for being on the show. I appreciate it.
Awesome. This was great.
It was great. I tell you what, I love it. And I probably will go back and listen to this show again because you're very inspirational and really help move us forward into, the life that we want. And here's the thing, Phinehas, it's really the life we choose, isn't it? And
right.
So, yeah.
Right. And I want to say something to your listeners that are looking to start this year differently, and they want to make a difference. They're saying, I want this year to be different. And if they're stuck, I want to give them just a few concepts. One is that they need to be hungry for the future that they want to have. So that's number one. It's very important that you are hungry because the level of your hunger will determine the level of your motivation. So I want you to pursue being hungry about the future you want. Number two, I want to encourage you not to change your wrong mindset. Sometimes we have an old mindset, and so it interferes with where we're trying to go. So I want to encourage you to really labor on changing how you see things and how you think about things. And number three thing I want to encourage you is that you need to build a team around you. Just like we've talked about building a team, build a team around you. Find coaches, find people. It might be CC, with her network and what she's doing. It might be me or somebody else, but find somebody that's able to speak into where you're trying to go. And then number four, I want to encourage you, don't be full of excuses. A lot of times you say, I'll do it. Somebody said excuses are the nails used to build the house of failure. So don't have excuses. Go at it and just go after your dream. And number five, just create a framework. Try to see where it is that you're trying to go, because if you know where you're trying to go, then you can start putting steps towards it. So Sissy, I just want to encourage your audience, your listeners. I want to say, if you're feeling stuck, you can get unstuck. And I've given you just 5 quick, easy things that you can do that will get you out of where you are to where you want to go.
Wow, that is terrific. And I want to thank you so much for sharing those words of wisdom to our audience, because I really think it's going to go far, and they're going to be able to tap in and really get that inspiration that they need. And so I want to thank you for taking the time to be with us today. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure.
Wow, it is great. This is a great show. I tell you guys, this is really outstanding, and it's just more ways than one. Absolutely. So you guys are listening to WGSN-DB Going Solo Network. This was the Business Showcase. I hope you guys enjoyed it as much as I have. Of course, you can find us right on goingsolomedia.com. For Phinehas, information will be right there in our elites. And check out all of our elites, because we have some pretty awesome people. We want to make sure that you guys connect with them and ask them any questions that you want. They're always willing to help you. So again, I'm CC Schatz. I'm the doyen of relationship building, and that's what it's all about. We want to make our lives just awesome. So we want to connect with people that are going to motivate us, that are going to help us with our transition of life and really get us to where we want to go. And number one, we want to be happy. So we want to surround ourselves with people that really help motivate us to do that. So I hope you enjoyed the show as much as I did. I'll catch you back next week, same time, same place. Bye for now.